Welcome back for another episode of the Fundamentals, where we talk everything related to sports. All right, I'm back. Solo episode today. I ain't gonna take up too much of your time. I want to talk about first of all, we had two Monday night games. Sunday was actually really fun. Like there was some fun games Sunday. The Baltimore Dallas game was fun. Y'all know me, Rams fan. The Rams 49ers game turned out to be a fun game at the end. And I would have said that had the Rams lost uh, with the ending that way, but it makes it just that much, much more better that the Rams won. Um, no, it was some really fun games. I saw some things that stuck out. I'm not gonna dive too deep into it because I mean y'all saw it. I mean, if y'all are sports people, y'all know what's up. Y'all saw it. Of course, uh, I'm becoming one of those guys that is like, okay, yeah, Sam Darnold. I mean, he's yeah. I Minnesota has a really good defense, but I'm starting to hop on the train, man. Um, yeah, it's working. So you know, I can't. Only thing I could do is say that he's found his home. I think it's a good fit for him. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it's week three, and it's always one of those things where, you just never know. Also, the Sunday night game was fun. We look. The referees are just they're not going to be consistent. We know that. We can complain about it every week, but they're just never going to be consistent. They're going to make calls in one game, in the next game they're not going to make that same call that they would make. It's what if it's what you got to deal with if you're going to enjoy the sport of football or basketball or baseball or any sport that has an umpire or whatever, right? Inconsistencies. You know, I hate the idea that they say like some refs call this and some don't. Like, no, every ref needs to call this, right? Like it's one of them things where where they say you talk to this ref and you shouldn't have to do that. Like let's just go by what the rule says and stick with it. But anyway, that's the topic for another day. Um, I want to talk about the Monday night games. There should not be two Monday night games. I hate it. I hate it. And that Buffalo Jacksonville game, they could have kept that. Right? That was trash, right? And Jacksonville should be ashamed of themselves. Um, but I don't want to put the blame on Doug Peterson. Like he's part blame, and I know he's on the hot seat right now, but I think the bigger issue is the hype around Trevor Lawrence coming out of Clemson, right? And he was supposed to be this thing that was supposed to be the next guy, right? He was supposed to be the next face. He was supposed to be like, this quarterback guy that was just going to be that was just elite level, right? Um let's look at some numbers, right? This year alone, against Miami, he had 162 yards. Against Cleveland, he had 220. Against Buffalo, he had 178. 97 passer rating against Miami, 71 against Cleveland, 65 against Buffalo last night. He has two touchdowns this year, one interception. His numbers over the last this is his fourth year. His numbers over these last 3 years and 3 weeks are not even better than Daniels. What's the name? Daniel Jones. Than Daniel Jones in New York, right? And we talk about how bad Daniel Jones is. So that said, when is the scrutiny and criticism going to come to Trevor Lawrence? Because He's had time. Now, I think the scrutiny is delayed because of what they were able to do in the 2022 season when they made it to the playoffs. They had the comeback against the LA Chargers. They gave Kansas City a run for their money. And then they had this like crazy drop off, right? Um, and I don't. They haven't won a game in eight games. Like the last eight regular season games, they have lost, right? And when you look at Trevor Lawrence, I mean, he has career 60 touchdowns, 40 interceptions with an 84% passer rating. Well, I don't know about you, but his team is not winning. His numbers aren't some jump out the box numbers. And Daniel Jones has outperformed him realistically. And this this is an issue because Jacksonville over the last 3 years has had more weapons than New York. I mean, you could say, okay, New York had Saquon Barkley, but who did Daniel Jones really have to pass the ball to? Right? So when you put that in perspective and talk and talk about quarterbacks and where they should be and all of that kind of stuff, you have to you can't call Trevor Lawrence necessarily a bust, but they had it wrong on him because I was on the side of I'm not sold. Like I don't see it, right? And and I'm I'm one of them people. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. Like I was wrong about Seattle this year. I've been wrong about Minnesota this year. I've been wrong about the Saints this year. And these things still have time to unfold, but right now I'm wrong. Right? I felt like those three teams going into the season weren't going to be much of anything. I didn't even have the Saints winning yet, right? Um, so that said, I'm just somebody that's going to be open and honest and real if I'm wrong, but Trevor Lawrence, I was right on, man. He's just not the guy. He's not it. It's not working there, and I know they just gave him this big contract, and I don't know why. I mean, what's the name? Khan, the owner of Jacksonville, he's come out and said this is it. It happens this year, right now, and right now it's not happening. Now it's week three. Now, and do they have time to turn it around? Absolutely. But I don't see it. Now that said, we saw Cincinnati go lose last night as well, and the difference is we've seen Cincinnati do this and then go on these runs, right? We've seen it get fixed. And I don't think it's so much that Cincinnati can't Cincinnati is showing that yes, we're struggling, but there's little things there that show you that they can get it fixed. Like the offense is coming on, like that's winding up. But the defense, last night, man, gosh, they man, did you see those pass plays last night? It was sick. Let me see what we have. What we have. I don't even know how many. Jaden Daniels was 21 of 23, and I believe he is the best quarterback in this draft. I thought that the night of the draft. Not sold on Caleb Williams again. Another conversation for another day. Jaden Daniels threw for 254 yards. Uh, yeah, I mean, Washington just had one of those games. Was it a combination of Cincinnati's defense playing bad and Daniels just having one of those games, right? It just everything. It was the perfect storm for all things considered to happen. For that to happen. So yeah, man. I mean, it happens. But yes, No more. Like no to the two games on Monday night. Let's not do that. Um, Tomorrow, well, I'll say we will try to get another episode recorded before the Thursday night game, before next weekend. I do want to talk a little bit of basketball here soon as well because this basketball starts in less than a month. Hockey starts in less than a month. The baseball playoffs start in less than a month, or in a month, ballpark. Less than a month. Less than a month, yes. So sports is for me. I watch all of those things, so I'm gonna be loaded watching sports. But um, tell me what you think about having two Monday night games, and what are y'all thoughts on Trevor Lawrence? Is it? I don't necessarily think we can call him a bust, but he's not that guy. He's middle of the road at best. And we've said this. Tell me what y'all thoughts are, and let me know. Do y'all think Cincinnati can turn it around? Uh, leave a comment. Let me know. All right, man. Thank y'all for chopping it up with me. I know it was only a few minutes, and I didn't really have a lot that I wanted to talk about without Adrian on today, but I wanted to just engage a little bit, and drop something. So appreciate y'all checking it out. And peace.